We were talking to the former vice chair of Arsenal, David Dean, who was talking about Infantino, Gianni Infantino, in charge of FIFA almost unbelievably for a decade now. And of course, all eyes very soon at the end of this domestic season on the World Cup in the US of A. England are there, Scotland are there. Will the Welsh get there? Will Northern Ireland get there? Well, that remains to be seen. But 105 days out from the World Cup, my goodness, all the focus will be on it sooner than later. I am delighted to welcome former Spurs, Blackburn, Villa, USA goalkeeper Brad Friedel to the studio this morning as we focus on this great tournament. Mr. Friedel, it's been a while. Good morning.
Yeah, long while. Nice to see you, Jim. Simon.
Good to see you, Brad. What was it, 82 caps for the US of A?
82. Yeah.
And proud of it?
Yeah, of course.
I'll bet.
Yeah, 2 Olympics, 3 World Cups. And it was the long travel. Things were different back then as well, though. I retired a little bit early. I could have carried on a little bit more. Obviously, I played till I was 44. But the trips back and forth, and when we first started, we didn't have the travel that the players have today, and it was a little bit harder on the body and the mind. But I wouldn't trade it in for anything.
And now living part of your life in the Bahamas. Life is tough, Brad, is it not?
Well, life was fun. Got 6 kids to look after, and live Bahamas, Istanbul. I'm in the UK all the time. Gonna have, hopefully, a great World Cup in the summer.
Yeah. And we are going to be seeing more of you, Brad, during that tournament out there. This is now 105 days out from the World Cup itself. USA, Canada, Mexico host what should be football's greatest ever show. Do you think, Brad, this tournament is going to live up to its billing?
I would love to say yes, being American. Listen, Americans can put on an event for sure. I've never seen this going on in America. I've never seen a right and a left so disgruntled with one another. I've never seen it so separated from one another. I hope, just like we saw in Russia, just like we saw in Qatar, that once the tournament starts, everyone comes together. Mexico, Canada, U.S. comes together and puts on a brilliant event. A little bit worried about some of the quality of the first round matches. Opening the event up to so many teams. I think once the knockout matches come, we're going to see some brilliant football, as you always do in the World Cup. I sincerely hope we stop listening to stories about funding for security and all this stuff going on, and we can just focus on the teams. March is a big month. We'll know, to get the final roundup of who's going to be playing who and where and what and how, and then the excitement can start. So it's more of, at this stage, a hope, and let's keep it positive and hope we get there.
I want to talk about what kind of America we're all going to be heading to, but there's a heat factor as well. It is going to be super hot out there.
I was very surprised that they chose to do the final in New York in the summer, especially when you're on an open roof stadium. That you have a tremendous chance of thunderstorms, and you can hail, and when you have lightning in the U.S., you have to get off the pitch and out of the stadium. I think it's 30 minutes or 45 minutes.
We saw that in the World Cup Championship.
Each time. In '94 World Cup, the final was on the West Coast. You don't have those weather issues. It is warm on the West Coast, but there's no humidity. Humidity it's brutal, Jim. When you're in Texas, when you're in Florida, when you're in the Northeast of the United States in the summer, even in the Midwest. I mean, you go in Kansas City.
Yeah,
it is hot. It's really hot.
So, Brad, this leads me to it. What kind of America are people going to? This is your country. You're a proud American. You're from Ohio.
Yeah. I mean, what people are seeing in the news is happening. It's no joke. Again, my statement earlier, like, people were really worried about Russia and Qatar. I hope when they go for the 30 days or 40 days, they're over there, that it is just about the World Cup. I'm hoping we see when Holland play, the sea of orange going through and going to the bars and the restaurants. And I anticipate that's what's going to happen. Americans, as I said, they love an event, and the World Cup is the largest event on the globe in the sporting nature. So, I hope everyone's very friendly. I really do. But I have a little asterisk next to that right now. There's some work to do. The American people got to get their act together and start bringing a little bit more humanity into the situation.
Right. So, I mean, we heard what happened at the Winter Olympics. You did as well, Brad. Some US athletes discussing their mixed emotions about representing the nation. Freestyle skier Hunter Hess, one of them. And that elicited a response from Trump, who called Hess a real loser. Are you worried, Brad, that we're heading out there and there's going to be a bit of football alongside the Donald Trump show?
Well, I've seen what FIFA has tried to do and align themselves with Trump and the administration, and I understand why they're trying to do that, to try to keep things positive. But it is split, Jim. There's no two ways about that. You see, the women's hockey team doesn't go to the White House. The men's team does go to the White House. You see, the Seattle Seahawks turn down the invitation to the White House. It is split. So I would hope that a World Cup does not become any type of politician show. It's not for that. It's for sport. So I hope they're getting things. I'm saying this word a lot. I know hope. I hope they're getting things in line to have 30 days of just World Cup.
Right. You don't want footballers speaking out, Brad.
No. I don't want. I would hope they don't have to. Listen, if someone wants to speak out, free speech. So to speak in America, so you can speak out if you want to, but I hope people don't have to. But each day we all read something new where people are speaking out because they feel very strongly on one side or the other.
Would you keep quiet if you were interviewed ahead of this World Cup and you were a player in it?
I mean, I wouldn't normally bring politics into anything. I've never brought politics up in my life until this last sort of 2.5 years. I've never spoken about it this much with anybody. Not even my mom.
So why
because
now?
It's a divide. We're talking about sports. You're asking me if the World Cups, what type of America are people going to be going and seeing? Right now, I have to tell you openly and honestly, it's split. It is a split America. Do I think people are going to get confronted on the street if they're cheering for Spain? No, I don't. I don't think that will happen. But they might see ice somewhere, and they might see something else that's going on. I think if they're there supporting their country in a World Cup, I don't think something necessarily is going to happen to them. But these are things that are genuinely happening right now.
Have you met Trump?
No.
You're quite happy you haven't met him?
I'm indifferent. I met Ronald Reagan. I met Bill Clinton. George Bush spoke to us on the phone in 2002. It would be an interesting conversation as a group of teammates to see if you were ever invited, what would happen. That would be because any team in the United States of America, any team, any sport, men's, women's, the conversation will be split because the thoughts are that different.
Yeah. I mean, it was interesting, Brad. Pochettino, the US manager, said his player, Timothy Weah, shouldn't involve himself in debates around ticket pricing for the FIFA World Cup. Just focus on on-field issues.
So
is he right?
Well, Mauricio was saying, I know Mauricio very well. Mauricio was saying that not to become political. It wasn't a political statement. He was saying it that he just wants the players to focus on football.
Yeah.
And straight away, this is a great point that you brought up. Straight away, United States of America is divided, and some people are saying, why do we have a coach that doesn't understand the First Amendment right to free speech? It's not what Mauricio Pochettino was saying. He was saying, I just want my players to be focused on playing. That's it. But right now, anything that gets said gets taken way out of proportion on both sides of the aisle.
What do you expect from the USA, the team under Mauricio?
So Mauricio started, and he comes in, and it was great that he's come in because it's a completely different mentality for American players to deal with. And you saw the results at the beginning. The results don't lie. And there was some turbulence going on, and you saw what happened with Christian Pulisic, who was the best player, the U.S. Well, I would argue Weston McKennie's up there, but there was some trouble. But I knew I was probably the only pundit or the only ex-player that was positive with Mauricio, but only because I had firsthand information and experience on what he can do, and I knew that he was trying to create an atmosphere off the pitch that was going to enable him to work the players like he wants to work them and train them and get them as a cohesive unit. Recently, the results have been excellent, and I totally anticipate there being one or two shocks on the World Cup squad that gets named, and I anticipate the team to be very well organized. I think they're going to be high pressing. I think they're going to be very fun to watch, and I think when it gets to the knockout stages, we'll just lack that extra bit of quality, as the United States does, to go through, but I think we'll have a very good showing and get the country behind the team.
But you're saying you'll get to the knockout stages. You'll get out a group with Paraguay, Australia, and a playoff winner.
Yes, and likely going to be Turkey, who's a very good team. But I do see us getting out of the group, especially with the new format. And then it's luck of the draw. If you get drawn against, and I'm not saying we could even play Brazil, or England or someone. If you get drawn against a Brazil or England, you could lose as the United States of America.
Yeah.
That's what happens. And it's the reason why only, I believe, 8 nations have won the World Cup in the history of the World Cup, because it's hard to win.
Sure thing. We'll talk about England under Thomas Tuchel. Might talk about Scotland under C.B. Clarke as well, and who Brad feels may end up holding the famous trophy aloft. Brad Friedel with us live on talkSPORT with Selco, where the trade goes. Now then, the latest episode of How to Win the World Cup is now live. Matt Ford, Jacob Holley are joined by one of England's greatest ever goalkeepers, David Seaman, to discuss the importance of squad harmony at a World Cup. Download How to Win the World Cup. It's available now wherever you get your podcast from. We've got another very famous and very capable former goalkeeper in our midst. Brad Friedel is with us, former Spurs, Blackburn, Aston Villa, Liverpool. I mean, it all comes back, Brad, when I start chatting to you again. 80-plus caps for the US of A. And, of course, Brad's going to be with us out there in the US during the summer when the whole thing gets going. We've been talking about the USA. We've been talking about USA under Mauricio Pochettino. You rate Mauricio very highly, and as you say, you know him well, and you played under him. Might they shock a few people, Brad? Could they really go deep in this tournament with the home backing?
Sure, they could, but it's hard. I see them getting up to the quarterfinal stage if they have a good draw in the knockouts, and then once you're in the quarterfinals, you're playing a big boy,
right?
And it's. Is the United States better than France? Like player for player, squad, everything? No. Could they beat them on a given day? Goalkeeper has a worldie, sending off early, they go to penalties. Yes, they can. But, play Brazil 10 times. Is the United States beating them 6 or 7 times? No, they're not. It's tough. Yeah. Play against Spain, it's tough. Play against Germany, it's tough. When they get to that, could they beat them? Yes. I mean, I was part of a 2002 World Cup team. We went to the quarterfinals, and we were arguably the better team against Germany. Came up against an inspired Oliver Kahn, and we were knocked out. We were very close to being to the semifinals. So it can happen. Wes McKennie's a wonderful footballer. When he's fully fit and focused, a truly wonderful footballer. Tyler Adams, great attitude, great mentality if he's fit. Chris Richards, really coming up. We have good players. Are we better than France and England? Like I just mentioned it.
Sure.
No, we're not.
No.
But on a given day, that's why you play the games.
Right.
That's what
exactly
sport's about.
right. Exactly right. On any given day, Scotland, Brazil. You know what I'm saying. How do you rate England's chances under Tuchel?
I rate England's chances very highly. I think they're one of the best teams going into the tournament. The issue for the English team, same issue is going to be for the Scottish team and some of the other European nations, is the climate and the conditions. I mean, I think if you look at England's brackets, they could possibly have to play in Mexico City against Mexico. I believe if Mexico goes there, then you're talking altitude, stage 5 smog alerts, another travel, another time zone change, and ridiculous heat. You're talking five elements and a home crowd from Mexico. Like those will be tough games. Is England better than Mexico? Yes, absolutely are. Can Mexico get there? I don't know. They've had their own troubles, but like those are the type of games that could be.
You're right, Brad. I was there, and
that could be hard. Yeah,
Mexico City, you couldn't breathe.
It's suffocating. I played there in qualifying games, and they kick us off at 1:00 in the afternoon. It's 40 degrees on the pitch and you can't breathe. You have players on oxygen tanks at halftime. Yeah. And like Kobe Jones, he had asthma and he's like coughing up black soot out of his lungs at halftime. It's hard in these elements, and it's no joke. And people will watch the game on TV and wonder why. Oh wow, he looks knackered. It's because he is.
I remember in the heat looking at people like Alex McLeish, red-haired big Alex McLeish, Gordon Strachan. Yeah. I mean, my God, it all comes back. Do you expect Pochettino, and this is for you as well, Simon, to come back to the Premier League post-World Cup?
I would love Pochettino to stay at the U.S. and do another 4 years of really galvanizing the mentality of the U.S. player. Do I see that happening? Probably not. Do I think he's good enough to come back to the Premier League? Absolutely. would it be tempting? Yeah, I would think so for Mauricio and the staff, and he's one of the best in the game. So it wouldn't surprise me if he did, and it wouldn't surprise me if people are already trying to speak with him.
I mean, the sensible money, Simon, on him returning to Tottenham.
It depends upon the clubs that you're talking about. Do I think Mauricio Pochettino is a serial winner? No, I don't. Do I think he's a bridesmaid? I think he has been a bridesmaid. And I think of PSG, everybody wins with PSG, so there's no badge of honour there. I was surprised at the decision-making process to go to America. I can see the financial benefits of a nation that's embracing soccer now. If you look at the MLS and what's going on with that, when I was over there last year looking into Miami with Beckham's people and understanding the scale of that operation, the scale of the MLS, I still think the standard is miles beneath what's required to be a top league. I sat with the MLS commissioners, and they think they're going to be in the top 6 leagues in 5 years. Forget about it. You're a mile off.
No chance.
So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, the financial benefits of the opportunity that exists in the MLS, and you're seeing these academies springing up in America, and the monetization of football, soccer as they call it, in that part of the world is huge. But as a competitive football manager, does he belong in the Premier League? Yeah. Does he belong at a top side that's capable of winning things? I don't know. I think he's a very good coach. I think the transition from him at Southampton to Tottenham was revelationary and revolutionary. But there's this feeling in my mind that he's a bridesmaid, and there's this missing gene that takes you from being a really good coach that get a whiff of it. I can have a whiff of it. I can have a good look at it. I can get there, to the guy that can close the deal.
Is that harsh, Brad?
I mean, it's fair when you look at the trophy cabinet. I mean, that's. I was if he went to a Man United and was building things up, I think he can get there. Like I know him. He has a drive to win. Like when you were chaired, you would love him as your employee because you know that you're getting. Not saying that you'd keep him forever. I'm just saying you honest work, good work, like really does everything he can for you and your club while he's there. So
it depends on the club, doesn't it? I mean, without betraying confidences, I think one of the people that he worked for felt that there was a missing element of being that ultimate winner, that ultimate get it across the line, drag you there. Now they might have their own questions to answer about the reasons why he didn't get the winning mechanism.
It's funny, and I know who you're talking about, of course. But and I think him not being at Tottenham right now is the reason why they're not doing well. Daniel, I thought he was a brilliant chairman, really did. And I thought actually if Mauricio and Daniel could have communicated together a little bit more, they could have created a brilliant thing. I mean, if you look what Daniel Levy did when I first signed the Lodge, you've been there, I'm sure. Probably one of the worst Premier League training grounds for a team that was supposed like Champions League and Europa League. I mean, the training ground facility, brilliant. Stadium, brilliant. 560 million quid in revenue last year. So you're now talking, you're getting your foot.
What the hell's going on in this club?
No. Well, first of all,
it was there last year as well. Not just now.
Yeah, but
what the hell's going on?
But his power was getting.
Everyone that says about Spurs goes. I mean, I had Tim Sherwood going. Yeah, it was nice that we had hot and cold taps that went on. You saw that one, yeah. Right. But the fact is that we had a culture inside the club that doesn't win. So you've been there. What goes on in that club that turns them into what they are now?
So Mauricio was pushing Daniel's buttons to get there. Daniel was pushing back with Mauricio, and I really think if they could have gotten through that last little point, they could have pushed each other to there. And I think I don't know what really culminated in the end. And I think if you sat down privately with Danny, you might have said maybe I should have stuck that out. And I think if you speak to Mauricio, and you know him, but I just think I thought they worked really, really well together. And you had at the time, and I'll get on to one more point about Tottenham and why I don't think they get quite there. Is you have a Gareth Bale, a Luka Modric, a Moussa Dembele. You still Ledley King on one leg, albeit, but he was better than most on one leg. And you had all these great players. You were bringing through a Harry Kane, and you were just about there. One of the problems that Tottenham has right now today, and you'll appreciate that from your Palace time. If you're a player and Liverpool or Man City are offering you, let's just call it 200 grand a week. And Tottenham's offering you 200 grand a week, you're going to the other club. So now if you're Tottenham and you're Daniel and you're a very clever guy and you're very good with numbers and you know what players' values are, do you offer them 240, 250, 260 to come to your club and get your financial parameters out of whack just to sign that player who might not even have the attitude of wanting to come to the club? He's coming to the club for just money. He got himself into that, into like his foot in of being one of the big financial clubs, which they are, I think the fifth top revenue, but the players around the globe are still not itching to come to Tottenham.
And on that, Brad, because they haven't offered big dough, the big players in the game, in the world game, haven't gone there.
Not the point he's making.
No,
that's not the point he's making.
Are you worried that Tottenham go down?
Oh, that's a different topic. Tottenham could go down right now with what's going on right there. And I watched again that you see Igor Tudor is talking to Van de Ven and he's ignoring him. This is I said not too long ago that somebody asked me what I thought was needed to come in, and I was like, bring in somebody like a Harry Redknapp that if Van de Ven ignores him just for 4 months or so, it could be a different name. It's like what Celtic did with Martin O'Neill. And if somebody's ignoring him, that player wouldn't be in the matchday squad the next time. And the worst thing for a player is not playing. No matter anything. And you're right. That's not the point that I was making is that you can't just overpay players and bring them into the squad.
Motivations aren't right.
Correct. Yeah. You have to want to sign players that want
winners
to
and want to play for big clubs and know what winning looks like. And
Correct.
They want money as well, but they'll bring both.
Correct. So it's like if you go back to NFL and New England Patriots, the saying, and I was the head coach at the New England, and Tom Brady was a quarterback there, and the saying inside the building was basically, you come to New England to win the trophy, then you leave New England to go make your big paycheck, but you're going to win here first. And we had Tom Brady and Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
And they had the winning formula with those two. Everyone else would come in. They would win their rings. They would go off, and the amount of players that ended up coming back to come try to win another ring because they couldn't after they got their payday.
Yeah.
So it's this mentality thing, and
I mean they've got Cristiano Romero, Brad, the World Cup winner.
Come on. Seriously.
Go on.
Look, he's one of the petulant ones. He's one. If you took one of the managers that,
but he's one of your winners. Is he not?
With Messi, with Emi Martinez, with other players that might put him in his place. Like if he's going to be the winner and
he's going to be your leader.
If he's going to, because so
is he your kind of captain?
No, he's the kind of that I might have problems with in the change room, because the issue is you'll have young players, and you always have players at clubs that aren't leaders. Always have it. And the players that aren't leaders, they look to attach to somebody. They do. So if you take Luka Modric, he walked in, nicest human being, humble, quiet, did his work, fantastic player. Young player would go,
I'll be like him.
I want to be like him.
Yeah.
Gareth Bale, come in.
Yeah.
Gareth Bale, yes, he played golf. He was physical specimen.
Yeah.
He was off the charts.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. You go, if you want to be a right back, and Kyle Walker was there at the time.
Right.
He was faster than 100-meter sprinters.
Listen, we're out of time. 12 noon, Brad. Before you go, one name. Who wins the World Cup?
I'm gonna go England.
What, England?
I am. I'm
just
gonna go
made his
England.
day.
I am gonna go England.
Brad, I was looking forward to seeing you until that moment, but I'm still looking forward to seeing you in the US.
You
summer.
really wanted me to say Scotland?
No, mate. No. Brad Friedel, great seeing you again.
Nice to see you, Jim.
Thank you so much. And we, as I said, we will be looking forward to seeing Brad throughout the World Cup when we are there in the summer. It is 12 noon.